Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to create a Black Friday ad using Doodly.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
Black Friday is getting closer, and if you haven't already created an ad, you might be panicking. Well, fortunately, Doodly is really easy to use, and you can do something pretty quickly. So today we are going to come up with a Black Friday ad for a fictional jewelry store. We'll call it Acme Jewelry. So let's start from scratch. Let's go to My Videos, click Create New Video, and let's give it a name. I had seen when I was searching for Black Friday ads on Pixabay that you saw that background in that other one. That's just a Pixabay image. I saw just a real simple graphic. It was a white rectangle with the word black and then a black rectangle with the word Friday. And I thought, oh, that would be kind of fun. So what I did is I created my own little rectangles with the text already in them, and I'm going to bring them into Doodly and we're going to animate them. So that's part of the concept. And then I thought we'd have Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus in there, and then maybe some colored circles with some jewelry will appear, and maybe some words, get 50% off or whatever the deal is. So that's kind of my idea. So let's go to backgrounds first of all, and go down to the Doodly backgrounds, and there's just a solid white one, just a basic white. So we're going to put that there, and then we want to go to objects, and we want to upload. Oh, I already uploaded. Okay, at least this one I did. Did the black. We search for it. Here we go. Friday. So I had created these on my own. I used Pix, which is a software made by the same company that makes Doodly and Doodly. And I do have some tutorials on how to use it to make some basic shapes. So if you want to make your own, just like this, you can check those out. And now what I'm doing is I'm just resizing these. And I just want to make sure that they're pretty close, because this is what I was replicating. This is my inspiration. It looked like something like this. Not quite, but something like that. And what I'm envisioning is these rectangles moving in from off screen and coming into place. So that's what I have in mind. Then let's go ahead and find our characters. So go to characters. Let's type in Santa. So I have Santa Claus and Lady Santa. I tend to think of her as Mrs. Claus, but Doodly thinks of her as Lady Santa. Now I don't want them coming in right away, so you can just drag them down to when you want them to appear. And I haven't decided just yet when I want them to appear. So for now, let's start with our black and our Friday, okay? We need to animate them. So if we look at what we have so far, they just kind of do that by default. Okay, so let's go to this first one. Click settings, and that's because they bounce in and out. I'm going to change it to instant. I don't need them to bounce because I'm going to bring them in on my own. And then they were awfully short. It was only 1 second, so let's drag it down. Let's just say 7 seconds for now. We can always change this. And so now if you look at it, only the black one bounces, and then those people come in. So let's go to black, and let's make it not bounce. Again, instant and instant. And if we look at it, it's just there. And then Santa and Mrs. Claus are going to bounce in and out, and we'll deal with them when we're ready to deal with them. Now that we have our Black Friday block kind of laid out the way we like it, we want to start figuring out how we want to animate it. So let's go ahead and do a couple things. First, let's zoom out so that you can see this area off screen, because we'll move these out and then bring them back in. And then the next thing, let's duplicate these, okay? So let's go ahead and select it and then copy it and then paste it by doing Control or Command C for copy, or Control or Command V to paste. And then let's just move it down. And we want to do the same thing for our black block. So, and we're going to move it down. And I'll show you in a minute why we did that. Now let's go to one of these and let's animate it. So where do we want it to end? Where do we want it to start? So click your little beginning keyframe down here in this lower corner. You're setting that's your start point. So now we want to move this to match. So maybe we'll have this come in from here. And then if we hit play, see how it's going to move into position? And I'm going to let this keep going. It's going to stop, but now we're into this copy here, okay? And that's why we made the copy, because otherwise, if it just stopped, then it would just disappear. So let's do the same thing for our black block. So click it and think about where do you want it to start? We already have its ending. Where is it going to start? I think over here would be nice. But before I move it, let's tell it by clicking its little starting keyframe, boom, that we would like it to start over here. And now if we hit play, these are both going to move in together. Now they're moving in awfully slow because I set it for 7 seconds. Well, we want to change that, don't we? We want it to come in much faster. So now, let's try 1 second. And then let's just drag these over. At this point, we can go back to our full screen. And see what it looks like. Okay, we're getting there. I like the speed of it, but did you see that flash? That's because we don't have these lined up perfectly. So we have a flash of white in between, okay? And that's not a big deal. You just put your little playhead right at the end of these two and use that as your guide for where you want these to come in. You don't want them to come in too early because that will mess up your animation. So I'm going to purposefully put this Friday too early and I'll show you what happens. See, did you see how that just looked kind of jumpy, right? Because it came in too early. So you just want to make sure they come in at the exact time, not too early, not too late. So now let's take a look. Boom. And then we want our Santa and Mrs. Claus to come in, and we want them in front. So let's just make sure they're in front. Click to foreground, and we'll do the same for Santa. Click to foreground, and now he's there. So now let's see. We want our Santas to maybe wave or do something, right? We don't want them just standing there and then disappearing. So by default, they have the idle setting. So let's go to Mrs. Claus here and change that. What do we want? Do we want her sitting, thinking, waiting, walking, doing yoga, saying hi? Saying hi. And then, do I want her bouncing in? No, I don't think so. I think maybe fading in would be nice. And then I'm going to do instant. You can do whatever you like. And I'm going to do the same thing for Santa. I'm going to tell him to say hi. He changed his eye emotion. Let's make him super happy. And he should be happy with his mouth. If we wanted a different one, we could unlock that, but that's fine. We don't want him bouncing, we want him fading, and we want just an instant out. And that's good. And then of course we're going to want them to last the duration of this particular scene. So let's do that. Stretch them out so that they match. I'm going to shrink my background so it matches. So that's a little closer there. And let's not have these two fade on exactly at the same time. Let's have Santa come on first, and then Mrs. Claus come on just a little bit later. See how that looks. All right, they need to come in a little bit sooner. So let's just stretch this down. Just take some fiddling to see what works. And then of course we'll have some music or voiceover or something going on here. Okay, so that's looking good. Now let's bring in some graphics for our jewelry, right? In our jewelry store. So let's go to Objects. And I'm not sure if I uploaded my logo yet or not. Yes, I did. So Acme Jewelry. We need to let them know who this Black Friday deal is. So now we're going to have Acme Jewelry come. And I thought it would be fun to have it grow in from somewhere and kind of cover the screen. Like so. And then we'll bring in some of our jewelry. So let's think about where we want it to start. Have it come out of the A for Acme, okay? So that's where we want it to start. And we want it to be small. And then let's click Settings. Let's have it grow in and then instant out. Okay. Let's just see what that's going to look like, it growing in. It should be very subtle. Yeah, and then that growing is actually going to continue because we're going to then make it really large. So bear with me. We have an idea that's where it's going to start, and then where it's going to end, we'll probably want it to end here, like so. Now I haven't set my keyframes yet, and I purposefully haven't done that because we need to make a copy of this one in its finished position without keyframes. So Control C, Control V. So now we have two. We're going to move the second one out of the way for the moment, and we're just going to work on this first one. So remember, this is our ending key spot, right? So where do we want it to begin? We're going to tell it, click the keyframe for beginning, and then we're going to tell it where we want it to begin. So now we're just going to shrink it down, and then we're going to position it where we said. And now if we hit play, it should fade in, kind of grow in from nothing to this position, and then it's just going to keep growing to that final position. So let's see. Boom, yeah, that's going to be cool. I want to go back into the settings. I should have probably copied and pasted it before I did this growing business because it wants to grow. So change that to instant, okay? And then now we can move it so it comes in right as soon as this one ends. And then not too soon, not too early. So now let's take a look at that. So it grows in and then it stays in. Okay, so as soon as Santa and Mrs. Claus are here, then we'll bring in our Acme Jewelry logo. Now, you notice her hand is this way and his hand is this way also. And then that logo covers it. So let's click Santa and flip him. So his hand is that way. Now, scroll over. Let's select these together because they're already kind of aligned. And move it to where we want it to start growing. I'd say maybe there. Let's see. Let's take a peek. Black Friday, Santa, Acme Jewelry. Yes. Okay. So let's now stretch out this to the end of the scene, and we're going to bring in a circle to cover this circle. And I have not uploaded my circles yet, and I thought that would be a good exercise so you can see how easy it is. So let me go to Pix. And this is that software that I used for the Black Friday. I used the shape tool here to make a circle, and I told it to be green with no stroke color. That's all I did, and I exported it. So now I'm going to go ahead and import it into Doodly. I have a couple. I have a red one and a green one and a gray one as well. So let's go ahead and upload it. I'm going to just drag it in. I have right here red circle, green circle, and gray circle. And I'm going to hit upload. I can close this. And then I'm just going to type circle. And here are the ones that I just did, these 3. So first thing I'm going to do is put my gray circle in. And we may or may not want this circle. I use it for like a shadow. So we'll see. And see that's how you get the shadow effect, by having it slightly off center. And I don't like the shadow on this particular one. So see this gray circle down here? I'm just gonna delete it and cover that. And that's perfect. So now I can add some jewelry, and see there's a diamond ring right here. So I'm gonna take that. Now before we do anything crazy, let's do some animating of our green circle. And again, we could probably just get away with doing the grow or fade for the green circle instead of doing a whole animation. So let's go ahead and do that. So go ahead and select it. And let's just see how it looks with the fade, the grow. And then I like instant for out. So let's see. Yeah, growing is just fine. And we're probably gonna need to extend everything here, just depending. So let's see what we're looking at. I know there's a lot of looking just to make sure everything's right. So let's go to text and decide what we want. We could do this one, or let's do spread me. And you click your little settings to change it, and you type in whatever you want. We're going to change the color to red. Call it. And we're going to change the font. I think that's fine. 50% off. Now, let's move this. Let's see. Okay, I don't want these all coming on 1, 2, 3. Let's have them all come on together. So let's make them over here. Stack them up on top of each other like that, and let's see how that looks. Yeah, I like that. And then if you want to control how the text comes in, let's go ahead and select the setting. And it's over here on the duration in and out. So right now, we've got I think it's 30 frames. Okay, so see how when I adjust that, if you look here, it makes my in longer or shorter. And I just want it pretty short, so I'm going to do that. And then same for the out. So right now it's a full second, and then we want it like so. Let's try that. There, I like that. We could do some more. We could make the ring go away and bring in a watch and so on and so forth. But I think this is good. I think you're getting the idea. So now we want to make these guys disappear, and then Black Friday only with Santa and her. So how are we going to do that? So let's decide where we want them to disappear. So let's go back to the beginning and watch it, because you need to just get a feel for it. So here we go. Black Friday, Acme Jewelry. All right, I need this to come in sooner. So here we go. Black Friday, Acme Jewelry, boom. So I hit my pause button, and now I'm just going to select these guys and move them down. That'll be good. And then let's see where we want them to end. Black Friday. Hello, Acme Jewelry. Here comes our deal. And boom, right here. This is where I want it to go away. So now I'm just going to move these down. And the circle. And then we're just going to have Acme. We'll have Acme slowly go away too. So let's just see how this looks. So I do take it back on all my changing these to instant out. I do want them to go away with an effect. So I'm gonna have a fade out. No, shrink out. You can always change your mind. And then for the diamond ring, let's have it bounce out. Let's see what that looks like. 50% off. Acme jewelry, and then what Acme right about here to fade out. I think I'm gonna go with the easy option right now. Settings, out effect. Let's shrink it. Okay. Now it's not gonna go back necessarily to that A like where it started because it doesn't know. See, it just goes in the middle, right, like that, and that looks just fine. And we don't want this just to end like a half a second later. So let's go ahead and extend our Santas and our Black Friday text. And then we're just going to drag it out. We're going to go for 15 seconds here. And we go down to our background and drag it over. We should be good. So let's see. So those go away. Acme slowly goes away, and it's Black Friday, and now they're just waving, and that's the end. Now, see what happens here? Those disappeared and went to black, and we still have her. So what that means is these are not lined up 100% how we'd like them to. So we can zoom in on our timeline. It sometimes helps to see them a little bit better. So where do we want it to end? We want it to end like so, with everything still in, okay? So there's some overlap here. Oh, let's see. Okay, so let's move this over. This one. This one. Okay, that should be good. Let's just make sure that it ends on a solid screen, and it does. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick voiceover. So go over to audio, scroll down here to your audio track, and see this little button here? That's going to be your record button. So here we go. I'm going to click this button, and when I'm ready, I'm going to begin talking. Shop now and save up to 50% on jewelry and watches. Hurry, this sale ends Friday at midnight. And then I hit that stop button to stop. Now I can move this down a bit if I'd like. Let me change my timeline. Let's go back to our default timeline. So I'm just going to adjust this and decide where I want it, okay? Okay, so I don't want my voice to come on until we at least see Acme. So like right in here, we can start. So I just drag that over, and let's see how that feels. Shop now and save up to 50% on jewelry and watches. Hurry, this sale ends Friday at midnight. Yeah, and that's good. So now all we need to do is add some Christmas music. We are going to just use this one for our example. You could go find some royalty-free music and upload it just by clicking this upload new audio and then bring it in. And then once it's in, it's the same process. So we're going to take our track, move along, and we're going to bring it down to this music track and then just release. And you can move it down here like so. So we have it fade in right when we start. And then of course it's just going to end right here in the middle of the song. So what you can do is right click and choose fade out. And then while we're here, the volume's at 50%. Let's turn it down because I'm going to be speaking, so it doesn't need to be super loud. So I'm going to try 14%. And that should be it. Let's take a final look and we'll be done. And again, you're pretending this is Christmas music, okay? Shop now and save up to 50% on jewelry and watches. Hurry, this sale ends Friday at midnight. And there you have it. That's how you can use Doodly to create a Black Friday promotion for your business. I hope this gives you some ideas. Thanks for watching.